Hello everyone. Today we have with us an incredible, inspiring individual whose journey is nothing short of remarkable. Miss Rashmeet Kaur, who has secured rank first in the Law Clerkship Research Associate examination of Allahabad High Court conducted in 2023. A graduate of the prestigious Aligarh Muslim University in 2021, Ms. Rasmeet has not only excelled in academics but has also been deeply involved in the extracurricular activities during her college years, organizing and hosting university level quizzes. Her passion for writing and research is evident, with her works being published in reputed journals and even the daily newspaper, The Hindu, which is the most favorite newspaper of UPSC aspirants. Currently, she is attached to Hon'ble Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, bringing her legal acumen to the highest echelon of judiciary. Beyond the courtroom, Rasmeet is an avid reader of Indian literature and a cinephile. With a YouTube channel dedicated to books and movies, her journey offers valuable insights and inspiration for all of us aspiring for law clerkship or research associate. And we are excited to hear her story today. Okay, so let's start. The first question to Ms. Kaur is, Ms. Kaur, can you share your journey from graduating at Aligarh Muslim University in 2021 to securing the first rank in Law Clerkship Research Associate examination at Allahabad High Court in 2023? What motivates you to apply for this position? Ms.
Thank you,
Kaur.
sir. Thank you, sir, for providing me this opportunity. And after graduating in 2021, in 2022, I shifted to Delhi for UPSC preparation because it was my parents' dream that I should apply for UPSC. And I shifted there and prepared there for around 1 year. There I realized that I was just fulfilling my parents' dream. I didn't
Okay.
quite I didn't quite felt myself like preparing for UPSC. Then all of a sudden I got to know about this vacancy that was sent to me by my friend. And this vacancy, it felt like right on time because it was a contractual job. Though it is a contractual job, but it is very necessary that we from legal fraternity who have no background, no support of our friends or family who are not in legal background, it is very important to
Yes.
find some stability in this dynamic profession because it is a reputable profession. We all know that, but we also know that being from legal fraternity, you need to have your sources, you need to have connections and networking.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this
Yes.
provided me this prepared me to apply for this exam because I thought that once I'll go in this line, once I'll be attached with any judge, because at that time I was not aware, at any judge, with any judge, so I'll do this networking thing and probably in litigation sector or probably in judiciary whatsoever, but it will help me in, forming that connection and networking. And also
Yes.
after studying law, it was a gap of 1 year. So I needed to get back into line and it felt like the right thing to do so.
Yes.
So I prepared for it.
Okay, Mr. As you mentioned to me that starting UPSC preparation in 2022, how did you balance this preparation with the law clerkship examination? What led
Okay.
to the decision to focus on the research?
Okay, so it was in 2023 around April that the vacancy came out. And by
Yes.
that time, it was already 1 year of preparing UPSC. So my most of that preparation was already done. It was only the attempt that
Okay.
was left. So when this vacancy came out, I was not very tensed that I have to balance both things because in UPSC also you study law. And I
Yes.
studied CPC and CRPC even when I was preparing for UPSC because
UPSC.
law was an optional subject that I chose when I prepare for UPSC.
CRPC
So
was not part of the law option,
law optional was a part of UPSC when I
but
chose.
CRPC is not the part of the law optional subject of UPSC.
No, it was not, but it was something that I kept my study with, and I kept my fluent
Okay,
touch. It was
okay,
mostly
okay.
jurisprudence. So jurisprudence is my favorite subject. It is not the favorite subject of most of the students, but I love
Yes,
philosophy, be it
yes,
philosophy in political science or legal philosophy. So
yes,
at that time, I was in touch with most of the things. So when this vacancy came out, it was also the time when that time the exam postponed. So we got more time.
yeah,
So we got
yes,
more time, and then we got to know that now there are two stages. There is going to be a written stage as well, just not interview.
yes.
So I
Okay.
started preparing in that direction because it was the first time we were having this written examination. So we had no previous experience or any previous year toppers, their experience to share with.
Yeah, is strategy or guidance videos available just like legal narrative platform, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So
So,
I had
Mr.
no guidance. Hmm?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of my student, Deepsika, has asked me to specifically ask you this question that so I'm asking on her behalf, Miss
Hmm.
Kaur, please enlighten us about what was your strategy for the screening test? Number first, number second, how did you approach the study material and what resources did you find the most helpful for the screening test conducted by the High Court?
So for the High Court, as we had no clue, it's just we were knowing that we will get one essay and questions from civil law and criminal law. So my main focus was on
Yes,
CPC, not any other civil law like Transfer of Property Act or any other torts, nothing. I just touched CPC, CPC Bare Act
yes,
plus a book for CPC, a standard commentary book, and for CRPC it was mostly for criminal side it was mostly CRPC and IPC. Because I
yes,
was short on time, I decided to skip on Evidence Act, and it worked in my favor because
yes, yes.
the panel, they didn't ask me about Evidence Act. They sticked on CRPC and IPC itself, so it worked
No,
out in
we
my
are
favor.
Miss Kaur, we are discussing about screening test strategy. We will shift to the interview strategy later on. So please limit yourself to the screening test strategy.
The written exam, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
So written exam for the essay thing, I didn't prepare anything because in UPSC also there is an essay optional. So I was
yes,
already
yes,
into writing and researching, so I didn't pay any heed to it. But if you want,
yes,
you can. There are websites like isbaba.com or drishtiis.com. There are essays on those websites, so you can go through those if you want. On the current topics, my topic was social media. There were four options, so I chose that.
yes,
For the CPC, there were two questions, two situation-based questions. So you have to be thorough
yes,
with these concepts, not just memorizing the sections. So while you're
yes,
preparing
yes,
for this exam, I would say since new criminal laws have been enforced, so my advice
yes,
will be to read this comparative view and the differences between the two. That will be helpful,
yes,
in my opinion. I just
yes.
stick to CRPC and IPC and CPC.
Deepsika wants to ask one more question to you, Ms. Kaur. Can you walk us through your interview preparation strategy on and number second, how did you handle the stress and ensure you stood out during the interview process? Ms. Kaur, please enlighten us.
Okay. So for interview, we got roughly around 15 to 20 days. So for that
Yes, yes,
interview, yes, I was very stressed. So what I did is I made flashcards. That is my strategy since 10th class. I used to make flashcards
yes,
and write articles or sections and then memorize it on daily basis. So I was
yes,
very clear, even for the written and even for the interview, that I would not study beyond criminal and CPC. So I didn't touch a lot of other subjects like torts or
yes,
company act or contract act. Like that was I did because I had limited time. So I was very sure that I have to do just main laws, and that was criminal and आपका CPC. So for that, I made flashcards, and then I also went through Allahabad High Court's website to read the judgments that were published on Live Law. Just, if they ask me, or just to impress the panel in case I want to.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
just went through the updates on Allahabad High Court and Live Law. So I got to know certain
Digest of
facts.
Allahabad High Court, right?
Yes, yes. So
Digest of Allahabad High Court.
official website of Allahabad High Court.
Okay.
And also Live Law in case I wanted to read some judgments.
Okay.
So on
So,
Allahabad High Court, I just went to know any recent updates. So I got to know about Lordship Sunita Agarwal. She was transferred to Gujarat as Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court. So that was before my interview, I think 2 or 3 days before. And they asked me this question in the interview. So that worked out in my favor. So update yourself with these current things that are published on Live Law or their Allahabad High Court website. So that will be okay.
meaning thereby, this was your strategy to handle your stuff, right?
Yes, I did smart study. I didn't want to bother myself with lots and lots of laws. So I did chose only those laws I knew that I will be good at, because they asked me that, again, it was in my favor. They asked me my favorite law. They asked me that
Okay.
what
Favorite
I'm well
subject,
versed.
right?
Yes. They asked me what I'm well versed with, and I said criminal CRPC and also interpretation of statutes and jurisprudence, because jurisprudence was my favorite subject. So I said
Since
that,
childhood.
and they
Jurisprudence
asked
are
me,
favorite subject since childhood, right?
yes, jurisprudence.
Jurisprudence was your favorite subject since your childhood.
Not childhood, since my college or first year.
College days, exactly.
हाँ.
Just kidding.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Kaur, one of my student, Miss Richa Rai, want to ask, as you are aware that the list of candidates who will be shortlisted for the upcoming screening test scheduled on 29th of September 2024 came out on 13th of September 2024, right?
Okay.
So the aspirant will be short on time, approximately 14 to 15 days, right? So for aspirants who are short on time, what specific subjects should they prioritize in their preparation? Please tell them with utmost precision.
Okay, so it will be the first time also, because the screening test, the written test and interview will be on the same day, as I know. For them, for us, we had time. So for them, I think they have to focus just on CPC. Like, it is something that I'm speculating, but I will say it from experience only, that focus on CPC, CRPC, and new criminal laws, and comparative study. So I think that will be fine.
CPC, CRPC, and new criminal laws.
CRPC, IPC, and Evidence Act means whole criminal law, old and new. The comparative between old and new.
Yeah. Next question is regarding new criminal laws, which was of Vartika Srivastav's question, as far as I can remember. So, Ms. Kaur, will the upcoming law clerkship exam focus only on the new criminal laws, or will the old ones also relevant? Number first. Number second, which aspect of the criminal law requires more attention during this preparation? Whether we should focus more on old criminal laws or new criminal laws, or we can devote equal time to both of them. Ms. Kaur.
Okay. So for this question, I'll be honest, I have no idea that what the registrar, what the establishment section is planning to do. But I will say from experience that do the comparative study. It will be better for both written and interview preparation. Because if you are going to write any answer, even if they ask from CRPC, so it is good on your part to write a new section that is present in the new criminal law, right? You have to stand out from others. So do both, in my opinion.
Okay. meaning thereby the students have to devote equal time to both new as well as old criminal law, right?
Mm.
Okay. Uh, Next question is Ms. Kaur about interview process. And one second, this question is of Amrel. He want to ask who conducts the interview for the law clerkship, that is research associate position. Number second, is it honorable justices themselves or someone else on their behalf? Please clarify this down. Amrel.
So basically, if there are 100 shortlisted candidates, you will be divided into probably 5 batches of 20 students each. And for
Okay.
20 students each, there will be a panel of 2 honorable judges because it was the same with us. So these 2 honorable judges, one will be a permanent judge and one will probably an additional judge.
Judge.
So,
Okay.
and it really depends on the panel because our panel, I was in the panel of retired Honorable Judge Rahul Chaturvedi and one additional judge at that time. So our panel,
Okay.
they conducted interview till 8 p.m. at night. It started
8 p.m.
it started at 11 p.m. Mine was conducted at 6 p.m. and I was literally crying because I had to leave for station at 7. My father was waiting in the hotel. So I was in panic mode. I was stressed. I was dehydrated and starved. This is one thing that I will say that students should carry their water bottles because it was Sunday and the canteen was closed in the court premises. So please take your water and glucose or whatever you need if in case there is a panel that will ask you to stay for so long. On the other hand, there
Okay.
were other panels, other students that got free by 2 p.m. So my panel and there was one more panel whose interview went more than 4 p.m. So it really
Okay.
depends on panel to panel, but yes, definitely it will be the honorable judges, a panel of 2 most probably that will be taking the interview. And
Okay.
there is one more thing. I was confused that how to address. Do we call them sir? Do we call them judge while answering?
You are
So
not safe.
your
Okay.
lordship, this was a trivial matter, but at time I was in panic mode. So just call them sir. No one is going to mind. Just be and be confident. Look confident. That is the key. If you will look like this is your first time giving interview, if you look like you're stressing because you're fumbling and stuttering, that will not leave a good impression on you because the vacancies are just 31. So
Thirty-one.
you have to really stand out. So look
Stand out.
confident. Take deep breaths
Yeah.
before your roll number is called up. Drink a lot of water. So that's what I
Okay.
did uh, you know, to hydrate myself and to get myself out of that stress zone. Everything will be
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Meaning thereby the honorable justices themselves took the interview,
Mm.
right?
Yes, yes.
There was no one else to on their behalf to take the interview.
No, no, just judges.
Ms. Kaur, please enlighten us. What is the recommended dress code according to you for the interview?
Okay.
Any specific suggestion on attire that can help make a positive impression for girls as well as for boys? Why there is no option but for girls?
See, they had prescribed a dress code for us. So it was
Okay.
pant, it was white shirt, black pant, a tie. Tie is mandatory, don't forget that. And of course, a coat, black coat for girls. And same was for the boys. So girls,
Right.
there were girls who wore suit and kurta suit, but it was not prescribed. It was specifically mentioned that you have to wear shirt and pant. So I would say go by the dress code that is written in the notification, and
Okay.
tie is mandatory.
Okay. Mr. One of my student, namely Sonakshi Kashyap, she was very panic about which language to opt for interview, whether they will be preferring the English medium students or Hindi medium students. So, Ms. Kaur, in your experience, what is the most effective language for the interview? English medium, Hindi medium, or mix of both? How does how does language proficiency impact the interview process? Ms. Kaur.
Okay. See, language proficiency impacts because that's how you will get ranks. I won't
Okay.
lie. But if you're from Hindi medium itself and it states they have your resume, they have your certificate, so they'll know before you come and give interview, so they'll know from which medium you are. So if you're
Okay.
from Hindi medium, they will expect you to speak in Hindi only. So you don't have
Okay.
to worry about it. But if you're from English medium and you stumble and you stutter, I'll just say that try to practice in front of mirror till
Okay.
the time of your screening for 15 to 20 minutes. Give answers, try to make eye contact with yourself, then do little practice. But it's okay if you stutter and if you fumble there, because it happens. I also fumbled, I also
Yes. Yes.
stuttered because they asked me legal questions and I was not aware of one or two questions answers correctly. So I fumbled. I said that I do not know this, sir, and so this happens. This is very natural. But yes, if you're from English medium, they would expect you to speak in English, but they will themselves ask question in Hindi. My panel asked questions in Hindi only. They didn't say anything in English, but it was me who
Okay.
spoke in English and they wanted me to speak in English. They asked me that if you're from AMU and, they just said. So it depends on panel to panel, but I would say that stick to the medium you are from. So if you're from Hindi medium, speak in Hindi or English, speak in English.
Okay. Okay. When you are in room, we have like no ones. So, Mr. Please tell us what kind of questions were asked during your interview. Were they primarily legal, or they are general knowledge or personal experience question as well?
So this started with my personal background. And
Okay.
they asked this question that why there was a gap of 1 year, that's 2022. Why didn't I do anything in that? So that was a personal question. I told about them, my UPSC journey. And the second question they asked that what in law, what I like about law. So I said that I am more into women in legal fraternity. I read novels. So I also read
Okay.
legal literature outside academia. So they were very
Okay.
interested in that. So they kept asking few questions from, legal fraternity or women judges, their life, or what I have read in general about this legal field from women's side. So after that,
Okay.
they asked me my favorite subject. I said, so it's CRPC and also jurisprudence. So in jurisprudence, they asked me about this theory, positivist and natural school. And in CRPC, in IPC, they gave me actually three situation-based questions. One was from abatement of suicide. In CRPC, it was
Okay.
about maintenance to Muslim women. And third was about blackmailing and how abatement to suicide and abatement is different. And there was one more question which I can't recall at the moment. I think it was from IPC itself. So it was mostly from the subjects that I said I'm interested in. They also
Okay.
asked me that if you like civil law, and I said I'm not interested in civil law, but I'll try answering the question. So if you are
Okay.
not interested in a subject, do not say that you're not interested. Just say that not relatively interested, but I'll try my
Okay.
best to answer. That will be the right approach while answering their question. So they didn't
Meaning
ask me.
thereby.
Hmm.
Okay. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead.
So they didn't ask me any question from civil side because they got their answers from criminal side itself. So
Okay.
and
Meaning,
lastly they
meaning,
asked.
meaning
Mhm.
thereby there are general questions, personal questions, as well as legal questions. There is
Huh.
no foundation on them. They can ask anything, right?
Yeah.
And while answering their questions, we have to be diplomatic, right? Don't
Yes,
be
yes.
so blunt that I don't know this and this is not my area or this
Huh.
is not my area of
Huh.
interest.
Exactly, exactly.
So we have to be diplomatic while
Yes,
answering their question, right?
yes.
So, Ms. Kaur, one
Mm,
more thing about your interview. What
mm.
was the most challenging aspect of the interview process for you? How did you overcome that?
For me personally, it was waiting till 6 p.m. Well, you see that all
Okay.
other students
Okay.
have left except you and five other students. So
Okay.
that was a challenging thing because as I said, the court premises canteen was closed. It was Sunday, and we
Yes.
didn't had anything. We were provided food, but it was in the morning, around 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. So that was the most challenging thing, and I had to keep myself hydrated, and I was very anxious. I was not very confident. The only
Okay.
way I overcame that was not to think about what I know, but how to answer any question. I had to look confident. So that was my plus point, that I was in public speaking earlier. So I knew that looking confident has an edge over, knowing right
Being
answers.
confident.
Ye- Yes, yes. So that,
Uh,
that was my key to impress the panel, and that worked out in my favor. Lastly, they asked me if I was well versed with the AIR, Manupatra, or these portals. And luckily, I was. In my college, I did take part in moot competitions. So I said, yes, I am well versed in SSC, but I didn't know AIR. So they said to themselves with each other, like, okay, she'll learn. So I knew at that
okay.
time that I may be selected. So that was it with
Meaning
my
there,
interview.
meaning thereby bluffing works if you bluff them confidently, right?
Yes.
Miss Kaur, if you permit me, then can I ask some personal interest questions about yourself, about you?
Yes, yes, sure, sir.
Okay. Miss Kaur, you have mentioned being active in extracurricular activities and organizing quizzes during your college days. Okay. How do you think these activities contributed to your success in the examination and interview process? Miss
Okay.
Kaur.
Okay. So I always loved reading and writing. And the
Okay.
first question they asked me after my UPSC question, that what I like, and I told I love reading about legal literature or non-fiction or even fictional stuff. So that reading part really piqued their interest, and they asked me about certain books and recommendations written by honorable judges and what I have read. And that worked out in my favor. I recommended them 5 books, and I recommended.
Can you
I
please
also
name
told.
them?
The one was the Supreme Whispers by Anubhav Chandrachud. One
Okay.
is Suno Ladki. It's in Hindi. It's translated from Tamil. It is by
Okay.
retired Chief Justice K. Chandru from Tamil Nadu. One
Okay.
was this book by, it's a very famous book. I'm forgetting the name. Every legal person reads this, or they have that. I don't know. It's
Okay.
a yellow book cover. And
Okay. Courtroom, ऐसे करके courtroom genius.
ha, Courtroom
Okay.
Genius. So it was that,
Okay.
and there were two more books. One was by one was an article. It was a series of articles. It was on women in legal field in India. So it was an article that was available online by some legal acumen. And one more book was there. It was a foreign author. It was on jurisprudence. So these were the books I recommended. And for writing, since I write, and they asked me that what my works had been published as research papers or beside research papers. So also that worked out in my favor. I told them, because I didn't take part in moot competitions more than twice. It was not my thing. So what was
Okay.
my strength? I presented them that it is going to be an asset if I am selected as a research associate. So I said that I'm
Okay.
good in writing. So if I'm selected, then the drafting of orders or the judgments or proofreading, then that will be my asset. So they asked me what I wrote and what are my opinions on this or that issue. And I was also very active in public speaking. I was in hosting quiz clubs and quiz competition and organizing fest for my university. So that gave me
Hmm.
this confidence to speak in front of elders or in front of professional people. So that worked out in my favor.
Meaning thereby you were not that much feared about that. I'm going to speak in front of judges, right?
No, no, no.
Okay, Miss Rashmeet Kaur, how do your interest in Indian literature and cinema influence your legal thinking and research? Does your passion for these areas help you in any way professionally as well?
So there is a movie
Of course.
I would recommend
Okay.
everyone. There are two movies. A Marathi movie called Court. It is
Yeah.
available with subtitles. Do watch it. It is about the reality of a common man who is waiting for justice. He is charged with sedition, and what is the legal system is doing to a common man who has no money for himself. So, if you
Yes.
want to watch the reality and how, if you are ever selected for judiciary, if any of your viewer, hopefully everyone, so if they are selected for judiciary, then how to tackle such problems, the pending justice. So, this problem
Yes.
has been displayed bluntly in this movie called The Court. Second is this foreign
The
movie.
Court. The name of the movie is The Court, right?
Yes, it's a Marathi movie.
Okay, okay, okay.
And there is another movie called Judgment at Nuremberg. It is a
Government
non
Act?
Nuremberg.
Okay, okay.
It is a non-fictional movie about after
Nuremberg
what.
trial.
Yes, yes, do watch it. It is about jurisprudence and moral dilemma that if you're a judge and there is a law
Okay.
that asks you to execute Jews for no reason, so what will you do? Will you follow the law as it is, or will you take a different course to that? So it is about moral dilemma, legal principles, and it is a non-fiction movie that I would say that it's very good if you are someone who is really into, legal field. So Judgment at
Okay.
Nuremberg. So these two movies shaped me because I got to know a lot about legal field than, my 5-year law, because they are
Yes.
practical in terms. No one will tell you the dark reality, right? These movies will.
Everyone present the situations like everything is hunky dory. Yeah. Miss Kaur, what what is the final piece of advice would you give to the aspiring law clerks or research associates, as you call them right now, who are preparing for the upcoming exam scheduled on 29th of September 2024? How can they differentiate themselves in the competitive field? Please give them uh, the best advice which made you the topper, which made you to secure the rank first.
Okay. See,
Final
be
piece of
smart.
advice.
Be smart with your preparation because you are
Okay.
short on time. We were also short on time, but you are also short on time because you have both test and interview on one day. So you have to be very smart.
I'm sorry.
Find, yeah, yes, analyze your strength and work on your strengths. So my strength was criminal law, so I worked on that. So analyze what you like. Do be comparative about these old and new criminal laws because they may ask about it. And
Yes.
also, whenever you write any answer, even if it was an essay, I didn't forget to mention case laws. For me, it was social media. So I talked about Law Commission report on mob lynching, hate crime that we see from social media spreading rumors. I talked about Shreya Singhal case, the very famous one. So do mention about the case laws, do mention about any legal opinion or given by any legal person or analyst. Do write them and also underline them. Make it
Yes.
like highlight those points, underline them with black pen or anything to make them stand out. So that is one thing you can do because nobody is going to read 8 pages essay with that much patience. What they're going to see is what have you highlighted. So highlight these law things, law points, case laws, how many you can route, how many you can write, and I think that will be a smart way to stand out.
Thereby, while writing any general questions like essay, then also you have to show your legal acumen, right?
Yes, yes. Do not be very general,
And
even with the essay. Provide some
yes.
legal perspective to it. Yes.
Ms. Kaur, looking ahead, what are your future aspirations in the legal field? Do you plan to continue in judiciary, or do you have any other goals in your mind? If you want to answer this question, then please go ahead. Otherwise, no issues.
I would not like to be very open about it. I am still exploring options. I love to be different. I love content creation. I love reading. I have a YouTube channel. So I am
Okay.
also looking at those things. At the same time, yes, I'm also studying because there are a lot of vacancies that are upcoming. So it also interests you and even your parents. They are in the hope that you will secure a permanent job one day. So
Permanent
yes,
job, yes,
I
yes,
am kind of balancing between both or exploring both the options. That is what I'm doing right now.
yes. Meaning thereby you are not that conventional preparation girl or boy who is sticking to judiciary or
Hmm.
UPSC or falana tikana,
And I
right?
love to explore things. I'm not like I cannot do one thing at one time. I need to do a lot of things. So that is me.
Lot of multitasker.
Yes, that is me. That is me.
So, Miss Rashmeet Kaur, on behalf of the legal narrative, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to you for taking the time to share your valuable insight and experiences with all of us today. Your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm sure that your words will resonate with many aspiring students who are watching this video, who look up to you as a role model, as you have secured All India Rank 1, and you had done many more inspiring things like writing articles, starting a YouTube channel, and preparing for UPSC, which is the most coveted and sought after examination of any youth in this country. So we wish you continued success in all your future endeavor. And thank you once again for being with us. Thank you, Miss Kaur. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.